so he used to always joke about, oh, the way to keep her is keep her barefoot and pregnant. Well, I started realizing that wasn't a joke, that he
Mm,
actually meant that.
mm-hmm.
And being pregnant was part of the abuse. I did want a lot of children, and he knew that. And I think he took advantage of that. But that kept me under his spell. It kept him having control of myself, but also my body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was, again, just like listening to that inner guidance I was getting. And I just kept having these dreams that he was cheating on me. And I kept being like, no, man, he's not cheating on me. He would always tell me, he was a woman man, and I believed him. Well, I found out different, and then my whole world came crashing down because I was like, here I just thought I like found the love of my life, and life was going to be perfect. We were going to have this big family together and be in love for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But that quickly changed that day. And I, uh, I chose, I kept getting like signs from the universe, like seeing numbers or, or a blue jay, or I would just see these signs that I knew I was getting from the universe or God, however you refer to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember laying on my couch, and I kept seeing these numbers. I mean, like right in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere I'd look, I'd see these numbers in like on license plates, the time, the total of my groceries, or even likes on my Facebook page, like
Mm-hmm.
just these numbers.
I
And
have
I'm like,
this I have
okay,
this
this
weird affinity with numbers. Can I ask what numbers that you were saying? Like, was it a certain
um
number that you'd see regularly, or?
to recall what numbers they are, I don't know. I know that I was seeing 444 a lot,
Oh, okay.
and that's being protected and guided by your angels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And yeah, it's funny. I should have maybe wrote that down. I never wrote
We'll
those
have to
numbers down.
have a conversation about
But
that off camera.
yeah, yeah. So I just remember like laying on my couch and being like, okay, what do you want me to know? What am I not getting here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want me doing already? Because something is happening. Like, this isn't just coincidence that I'm seeing all these numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same number. So, like, what is this meaning? I was like, ah.
Right.
And the very first thought that came to my head was, you need to leave Theo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, okay. And I already been wanting to do this, but how do I do this? How do I do this with 6 kids? I had 6 kids at the time. How am I going to leave? And who's going to want to be with someone with 6 kids? That's what
Mm-hmm.
I would always say,
Mm-hmm.
so I would stay. I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I better try to make this work even more, because I'm just gonna have to try to make it work with someone else. So I'm also, who's gonna love my kids like their dad, I would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that day I just like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And I actually, like, things weren't good. So I remember telling him that like things aren't gonna work out. And he kind of ignored me. And I was really serious that I like things aren't gonna work out. You need to move out, and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And he kind of just ignored it all. And I was serious, and I would tell him that like he needs to figure out what he's doing in a place and all the things. And this is not the first time we kind of had this cycle going on. I'll just kind of say that, because narcissists do have a cycle that they go in,
Mm-hmm.
which could probably be another whole episode
Mm-hmm.
about talking about narcissists.
Yeah.
But he had a cycle that I started picking up on, is
Mm-hmm.
every time I would get pregnant, he would leave, and then he would come back, right? Kind of like when I was going to have the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I was vulnerable at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this cycle. And he would post the same things on his Facebook, like each time, right? And then he would kind of like text the same things. And I just started really seeing the cycle and the pattern of them.
Okay.
And I remember my one of my friends that I went out for coffee with, that and he would always sabotage my relationships somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like he would either make something happen at home and then call me, be like, you need to come home. And then I'd come home and it'd really be nothing. And, or make me feel like, because I dealt with lots of anxiety and I was always overwhelmed. Like he kept me in this high strung
Mm-hmm. Fight or flight sort of.
anxiety. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And he also never helped with any addictions either. Like I didn't want to smoke marijuana, but then he'd be like, "Oh, come on outside with me," you know?
Okay. Mm.
And